I'm I'm trying to work with this little curly poodle thing I got going on. It did not come out the way I expected it, so it's going to be some updos for the next 2 weeks, and then we're going to be moving on. But it's okay. Okay, anyway, that's not why we're here. We are here to recap the UFC. That's going to be the last UFC event from Fight Island, I believe, for now. The next event's going to be in Vegas this coming Saturday, but I hope you saw last night's event. It had 7 fights on the card. It was a great event. I have to go back and watch the prelims. I heard they were good as well. But I made 6 picks, even though I knew there were 7 fights. I don't know how I messed that up, but I only made 6 picks. So I only made 6 picks, and out of those 6 picks, I actually got 4 correct, so I rebounded from last week's debacle where I did not get any. Very frustrating there. So, back, got 4 out of 6. Let's go ahead and get into it. So the fight that I did not make a pick for, which I'm not even sure was on the card last week when I looked at it, so someone let me know if this was I'm pretty sure it was a last-minute replacement, so tell me what the fight that it replaced was. But the opening fight, we saw another win for Khamzat Chimaev over Rise McKee. He beat him in the first round, took him down, ground and pound TKO, just ground and pounded him out to the point where we were like, ref, stop the fight. Ref, stop the fight. Apparently, he just got 2 wins in 10 days. This was a last-minute fight for him. He is another one from Dagestan, and yeah, one to watch. So who would you like to see him fight next? Now, next up, onto the picks that I did make. I got this first pick. I chose Alex Cowboy Oliveira to beat Peter Sabata. He did. I was wondering where Peter had been. Apparently, he's only had 3 fights in 3 years because just injuries. So this was, I believe, a unanimous decision in favor of Cowboy. Someone correct me if I'm wrong there. I completely agree. He went to the body early and often. He had Peter very hesitant the entire time. From a distance, he was able to win the striking match, cumulative damage. He was able to strike first, land more cleanly, control the pace, move forward more often, all of that. There were some low blows there. There was low blow to the cup. There's also a finger to the eye as well. He actually drew blood, cut him on top of the head there as well. So this was a hard-hitting fight, but a good win for Cowboy Oliveira, who we realized has 10 kids, just had his 10th kid. So he needed money, y'all. Who do you want to see him fight next? All right, so next up, I got this pick as well. I chose Carla Esparza to beat Marina. I just blanked on her name. Rodriguez. Not Rodriguez, Rodriguez. And she did. This was a split decision because, I mean, I understand that Cookie Monster, she's trying to finish fights, but in the first 2 rounds, she was able to take her down, do some serious ground and pound, and then towards the end of the round, she went for a leg bar or an ankle lock, trying to finish the fight. Ended up getting busted open just in those last minute or minute and a half of the first round, the last 30 seconds of the second. Just in that, she damn near got finished by Marina. I mean, cut her open, busted her up, swollen eye, just because when you have the dominant position, don't do that. I understand you're trying to finish fights, but don't take unnecessary risks when you can also finish the fight from the top position with the TKO. So this made me nervous, but she did get the victory. Who would you like to see her fight next? She's on a 4-fight winning streak now. Next up, I know I'm missing somebody. I feel like, oh yes, I am. Actually, the fight before that, I got that pick as well. I chose Paul Craig to beat Gazmarad Antigulov, and he did in the first round. Gazmarad went for the takedown, and Paul kind of accepted it. He fought it off for a little bit, but then he accepted it, which I hate that. But he immediately was down trying to position his legs for the triangle. And as Gazmarad, as he was ground and pounding, not realizing that he was actually moving further into the correct position for Paul to tighten up that triangle guard with the one arm in for the arm triangle, for the triangle choke, which I guess is like his 3rd or 4th in the UFC. Anyway, so he's beating him, not realizing he's getting it tighter and tighter and actually moving into the grip that Paul needs, and eventually taps first round. Great win for Paul Craig. I don't like the fact that he accepted the takedown. I understand that he's like a submission specialist and all of that. He has put together hands, as we saw in his fight against Shogun. You know me, I cannot stand it when people accept poor positioning. You cannot rely on your ground game off your back. You'll come across a fighter who you won't be able to submit and you'll lose. So I just watch that. But I think he might be one to watch. Who would you like to see Paul Craig fight next? Now, But next up, we saw, I lost this pick. I chose Alexander Gustafsson to beat Fabricio Werdum in his heavyweight debut. He did not. Even beforehand, I said I had to see how they both looked. They both actually looked really good, so I did not change my pick. Okay, so this ended in the first round. Filling each other out. Alexander looked good. Was attacking him up with some shots. You know, he looked quick. He looked swift. He looked healthy. He didn't look like the weight was slowing him down. So Fabricio goes for a takedown, and as Alexander should, he is frantically fighting off this takedown. He gets him all almost down. He pops up to like one knee, gets up. He turns, tries to snatch his leg out of his grip. He does, but Fabricio, in the good shape that he was in, very swiftly got up and grabbed his back, had both arms around his back. The moment this happened, they're both standing. The moment this happened, I knew the fight was over. I knew it was over. I didn't know how. I didn't know which submission it would be. The moment Fabricio stood up and grabbed Alexander's back, I knew the fight was over. He took him down. Actually ended up getting him on his back, flattened Alexander out. Alexander's fighting off the rear naked choke, so then he switched up into an arm bar. They're both belly down. Alexander's holding his arm. He's being patient. He's waiting, maybe trying to wait for Fabricio to maybe loosen it or change his grip, and maybe he could snatch his arm out. Fabricio's waiting patiently, and then he does a little spin move to spin them both on their back, and eventually stretches out that arm, tap, tap. Great win for Fabricio. He looked in much better shape physically. He looked quick. He looked sharp. He definitely looked like he's not done. So who do you think should be next for Fabricio Werdum, and what do you think should be next for Alexander? He actually did look good before that happened. Fabricio's one of the best. You can't really knock him from losing to the former champion, Fabricio Werdum. Again, as soon as he grabbed his back, I knew it was over. I just, in my heart, I was like, oh, crap. He just looked good. He looked good. So who should be next for Fabricio Werdum? Now, on to the co-main event, and I did not get this pick either. I chose Lil Nog, Antonio Rogerio Nogueira. I chose him to beat Mauricio Shogun, who he did not. This was the trilogy fight. Now, I knew that Lil Nog had lost the first two, but I just felt like he looked a little bit better. I don't know, maybe I thought his last fight he would get the win, and this was a very close split decision victory in favor of Shogun. Let me know how you feel. I actually thought it was a tie. I thought it was a draw. I did. I watched it twice. I thought it was a draw. I thought the rounds were really close. I thought Mauricio got the first. I thought Lil Nog got the second. And I thought that the third was almost split in half. I thought it was extremely close. So you guys let me know who you thought should have won. Lil Nog said this is going to be his last fight. He's 44 years old. So if that is so, Lil Nog, of course, thank you for everything you have done for us fans and for the sport of MMA. Thank you and farewell. Shogun plans on continuing to fight. So who do you think he should fight next? And of course, do you think he won split decision? How do you think that should have gone? Should have been a draw? Let me know how you felt about that and who Shogun should fight next. Now, on to the main event, and I got this as well. I chose Robert Whitaker to beat Darren Till, and he did. This was a 5-round unanimous decision. First round went to Darren Till. He even dropped him with the punch. I was like, oh, Lord. He actually looked sharp. He was fighting long. He was using those jabs as kicks. He was actually doing all the things that I said he should probably do to win. So I was like, oh, no. Didn't he hear my video? Because he was doing all that, fighting from afar, high volume, using the kicks as jabs, fighting behind that. He had a jab with the hands as well. He looked quick, so I was nervous. But then in the second round, Bobby Knuckles managed to come back and take that second round. He managed to land some good shots. He managed to drop Darren Till himself and then get on top and land some nice ground and pound there and get the fight back. And then from then on, I think people thought that it was 2-2 going into the 5th round, but I didn't. I thought it was 3-1. So I just thought that... and also in that second round, he stomped on the knee of Darren Till, and Darren Till said he's actually going to need surgery and made a joke that should be illegal. And he said ever since then, from the second round, that he was hampered in his movement, and he did slow down. But that's the nature of fighting. So, again, it was a good win for Bobby Knuckles, but I have to say, with that wide, loose guard that he has, y'all know me. Protect yourself. I can't stand low hands. I can't stand a loose, wide guard. And with that loose, wide guard, I have to say, Israel Adesanya will beat you again. even though you're not coming off the long layoff and the surgeries and all of that. With that loose, wide guard, Israel will beat you again. So you need to tighten that up. I don't know if you're going to get. Dana White said it's either going to be him or Jared Cannonier. Let me know what you think. Should those two fight each other? Should it be Jared first? Should it be him first? How do you think that should go down? So what do you think should be next for Bobby Knuckles and for the title? Because it looks like it's a three-man situation here. So let me know what y'all think should be next for that middleweight title. What should happen there? So, and let me know how you did on all your picks. This was a fantastic event with 7 fights on the main card. Let me know how you did on all of that. Any injury updates, of course. Let me know what you think about, of course, Lil Nog and his farewell fight and how that went. And yeah, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I wish I would have realized it was 7 fights before the fight. I could have made a little update prediction on my other mediums, but that's on me. I will try not to make that mistake again. So yeah, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, where I should have had an update pic. Subscribe, like, I'm on Snapchat. Subscribe, like, subscribe. Subscribe if you made it this far. Subscribe. All right, like, talk to me, take care, and goodbye.